Over the last 6 months, I've put in £1,267 on average into my stocks and shares ISA. And I've seen some okay returns. I think if I did this video last week, it would have looked better. But we're going to talk about what and all investing journeys. Because this is a real portfolio, my own money, my own strategy. And that's kind of the top and bottom of it. And before we get into the nitty gritty, and I want to make something very, very clear here. I know £1,267 per month is not realistic for anyone, but the numbers don't matter here. It's the behavior. If you've got 50 quid, 100 quid, 250, it doesn't matter. Consistency will always build a habit, a routine. It'll build a base, a foundation, and we'll go through all the mechanics in a minute. And as always, this is not financial advice. This is just me showcasing a reflective journey of what I've been doing so you can see it. But before we dive in, let me know in the comments how much are you currently investing. I'd be keen to know. And what were the steps that made you do it? And while you're down there, slap that subscribe button. 60% of people on my last video weren't subscribers. That's good, but be nice to keep you, wouldn't it? So let's jump in on the screen. Keep it super simple today because it is boiling in the UK. So we're looking at Christmas, basically. Yee, back to Christmas. And where the numbers were and why those numbers matter. Because when we talk about going back in time, if we look at Christmas around here, we're at roughly £64,000 invested, okay? That's pretty good. £53,571 were deposits. Now, fast forward a little bit. Yeah, we know that number's higher. If you've been watching my videos, you can see on the right-hand side there, my portfolio has grown quite a lot, obviously. And we want to talk about why that is quite apparent and why that matters more. But I've got a little thing in my head where I'm going to tell you now. I think a lot of people don't realize how good this bull market is right now. When we're talking about returns, average returns, it is at really, really high levels. And that could become a bit of a problem as we look into where this is going to correct and stuff. So today, if we fast forward a little bit and we just move the needle up. So I'll tell you what we'll do it month by month, 26th of January. Over that time period, you can see a nice little rate of return, a little bit of a deposit added. We're at 66,000. Nothing really moved in that time period when you consider a month of me actually adding money. When we talk a bit more in terms of into February, it went up a lot. We had a massive, massive run at that time period. As you can see, the returns have grown massively, and more importantly, the net deposits haven't really grown much. Then we had a little thing called tariffs and issues and conflict and all kinds of issues that created a bit more of havoc. So when we go into March, we actually hit some lows, went down quite a lot. The rate of return went down by 10% during that time period, okay? So as I say, warts and all, this is a thing. Consistency matters. But what I was doing throughout that time period, I was always adding money in. So therefore, the returns get better because I see a lot of people, in my opinion, they will lump, they will leave it, they hope it goes better. And then when it goes really good, they add more. When it's bad, it's time to add, right? So if we move forward another month into April, roughly around those points, it starts to recover again. Me buying those areas and dollar cost averaging into those little dipping points has probably helped out. But as you can see, we're not that far away from my numbers between April and today because the market has come down quite a lot. So when we talk about where it was, a couple of weeks ago, so in May, 77,000, roughly give or take, net deposits up a little bit, average return rate, it's not too bad at all. But ultimately, as you can see, if I did this video on the 15th of June, it would have been 78K. It would have been better. But today, no, we're down a little bit. It is what it is. But the method and the madness is relatively straightforward. Because realistically, on the screen here, I could have went to my calculator and went, well, this is what you're going to make. And yes, you could quite easily make these sort of numbers, but we all know that the proof of earnings and journeys is in doing, right? We can't really give you a forecast. I could build an amazing money system with all this kind of stuff, but ultimately the market could take an absolute shit on us. We know that. So as much as these data can give you a broad idea of this is what I want to achieve, for example, it's never going to be fully correct, is it? Because some months it'll go up, some months it'll go down, some months nothing will happen, some months Trump will say something silly and it'll ruin it, or you may get the jitters. I said something very, very powerful in one of my recent videos is if you invest in the S&P 500 over the last 14 to 15 years, you would not lose money because if you do not sell. But there's always those people that during crashes. So we had a COVID crash, for example. We've had many different conflicts, for example, right? We've had 30%, 25% drawdowns. If you bought at the wrong time, statistically, we all know this, there's a 76 to 80% chance that you will lose money because that's what the data says on all CFD platforms and across the board, because not everyone understands the markets. But what you need to understand, and we'll come on to it, the key point is consistency. Having a plan, knowing what you're investing in, don't deviate away from it too much because you will lose money because you are not on board and you're thinking, oh, bollocks. Because if you're technically speculating or gambling in a way, problem. Let's talk about it because I think consistency is absolutely the front of this. It really is. I said it before. If you lump, that does work. But if you only lump once, you're not going to see the full effect. Markets go up and down. You're never always going to get it. But if you lump at right points, or if you are like dollar cost averaging at right points, or not even at right points, but just as the market drops, it just doesn't matter where it is. If you're doing it on the first of every single week, the second of every single month, for example, or every quarter, it doesn't matter. But there's going to be times where you buy high, there's times where you buy low. It'll eventually average out, which is why it's called DCA, or, averaging down essentially, or averaging up if you want to get a bit more technical to it. But as I say, right, most people do this, right? They wait for the crash, that doesn't work. They wait for the perfect timing, that also doesn't work. They wait until it feels safe, as in, oh, it's already going to buy 40%. I'll probably just buy it. You know what I'll buy today? I'll buy Nvidia because it's doing all right, isn't it? Validation should not be because it's a green candle, for example. But also do not wait when, the market feels safe, because you got the other situation is like, oh my God, the market's really high. Why should I invest? It's stupid. At the end of the day, mostly, and this is going to sound a bit mental, but stock markets, technically, if you look at the index funds, are designed to go up. They're designed to make the rich richer. So why not just join in? You know what I mean? So just look at that point of view. But if you are investing every single month without fail, you don't need to worry about the ups and the downs, do you? You're slowly building a position over time. Throughout your working life or whatever it may be, you are building a position every single month, every single week, whatever it may be. And you got to think of that snowball, because when you first start, the distribution is not the returns, it is actually the deposits. The deposits are going to matter more. More deposits equals more return in the end game, right? That's kind of the point. Problem is, people don't look at that. People look at percentages and think, oh my God, if I just bought that. No. More money you've got, the more funds you've got in your account, for example, will make you more money with the rule of percentages. Do not look for the percentages. Try and just be the percentage. Because during that time period as well, you are creating that little habit. But even if you look at the simplicity here, right? 5%, for example, on £1,000, it's only 50 quid, isn't it? It's not rocket science to go that far. But 5% on average every single year is actually not that bad. But people don't look at it like that, because I know what the data says. I've already showcased it in previous videos. Like if you were in the S&P, the growth CAGR is 16%. If you take off inflation, we're looking at roughly 11, 10%, give or take, between time periods over the course of it. Obviously a bit better now. But what's 5% on 100 grand? Well, answered in the postcard, isn't it? Well, no, it's 5 grand. 5 grand returns on 100 grand. It's not bad. Million? 50 grand. Get the point? So if you've got £1 million portfolio, right, and you're getting a 4% yield or a 5% yield, you could be making 50 grand a year. That isn't with returns, where you need to sell to pocket that. But if you've got a bit of income, it's not bad, is it? All comes down to how much you have in your account. And without having it, you need the consistency to get it. But this is the thing, right? We can talk about that as much as we want, but everyone has a different goal. Everyone whinges in my comment section going, oh my God, you're an investor, but you're into income. Why not in growth? Well, everyone's different, right? That's the situation we live in. Some people want max growth. I get it. That was me a couple of years ago with Bitcoin. It still is technically, because I still own Bitcoin. Some people are investing to retire a little bit early, which is kind of a really solid plan. You've also got people that just want to buy an ETF and just sit and forget and not bother about it too much and just have a monthly deposit, off it goes. Not really into it that much, but ultimately we'll just take part. But then you will also have people that will genuinely want to beat the market, will want to brag about it, want to tell your mate on the back of a fag packet, oh, this is the next top stock. You know, everyone's different. We know it. And you got income, me, haha, sorry, dividends. But, you know, it's one of those things. I just like it, just the way it is, unfortunately. Not everyone likes it. I get it. But the main common thing here, we're all a part of the same team, right? Regardless of what you like. We do not want to lose our money to inflation. We do not want to sit and have our non-emergency funds essentially just getting eaten by inflation and Keir Starmer and Rachel Thieves and all. You get the idea, right? So we are all on the same team. Because if you go on my website, go onto investing tools, and you can access this with an email address, right? So I have a load of free stuff here, right? And if you got your email address, there's a free ETF screen that will help you find the ETFs. I've got a free cost, but I've also got a budget planner, right? And we talk about this in quite simplistic terms. And I know it's noddy, but if you budget your life a little bit, you don't have to go mental, by the way. Like, you don't have to go nuts, but just know where your money's going in and out, right? And then when you go to a point where I'm quite happy, have a little thing called investments and just put your money in, and you can do it on here as well. Put your investments in. How much do you want to put into your investments or your pension, whatever it may be, right? Then you know it's done. Automate it, let it go, do its thing. Trading 212, Lightyear, free trade, they all do it. Automate it. So this has given me an idea. I'm thinking about doing a account from zero, but I want input, please, from the comment section a little bit. What should I focus on? Now, you all know that my Trading 212 account is income. My Bitcoin is my Bitcoin, right? And my pension is the All World Fund accumulation. So this brings me to this. What do I do with this? Now, Lightyear for me, brilliant UI. I think it's neat, tidy. The app's really nice. I do find Trading 212 a little bit confusing sometimes between the pies and how there's two screens, there's two modes. Like, oh, it just messes with my ADHD brain. But ultimately, we could look down at these funds or stocks, whatever, and we get a nice look at the data and the information, which is kind of why I've built my own screener as well, to simplify it, because I do find anyone who is new to the market, oh my God, there's too much data, which I get it. I don't know. It's quite a simplistic brain point of view, but you need to understand what the numbers are. So I am debating it. So let me know in the comments, and we'll just be using Lightyear to kind of track it and have a little look at it, and we'll have a bit of fun with it, hopefully. But what are the big takeaways here? Because I can look at here, right? My goal, as you know, is 1 million squids in here. Whether I get there or not is another situation. Debate it if you want. But my average returns at the minute is 14.76. That is obviously coming down a little bit. But ultimately, let's be honest here. There's going to be time periods where it's going to be crap. There's going to be time periods where it's going to be good. And whether you look at it in different ways, it's up to you. But even with the safe version of this scenario, I don't care about 6 months. 6 months is just a little bit of it. I want to look at the next 10 years at least. If we look at 2035, I could have 500,000 on the safe one, or nearly 600 grand if it's a bit more portfolio value. When you talk about the income side of it, that income will start to snowball and it'll look quite good. That's a point. I want something relatively safe to build wealth by logging in, as I say, 20 grand every single year. That is my point. But there will be a point where, as I say, income, dividends will disappoint you. There'll be a point where growth doesn't grow as much as you want it to. That's just the situation where we are with any sort of market. And that is the unfortunate truth that we need to look at. These markets, as I say at the start of this video, will do whatever the hell they want if something goes wrong. Every single crash has a reason, unfortunately, but they do recover. And it's about being at the right time to buy when it needs to be bought, for example, at the lows, and ride it out. The minute, it's not looking great for my portfolio. As I say, if I did this video 2 weeks ago, it would look a hell of a lot better, and I'd have £6,500 returns instead of £4,000 or £5,000 returns. You get the point? So, returns-wise, about £1,000 a month on average, give or take. Last week. This week? No, it's not. Just depends, isn't it? But if you do want to follow for more, please do slap that subscribe button, like the video, and comment anything I've missed, because I think I've gone through quite a lot here. And if you've not yet done so, please do watch this video. Just a bit of a full deep dive of my portfolio. However, I have sold Drax on there, so just lob that away.